Hey folks, just wanted to welcome you back to another Let's Play series. This one should be done pretty quick for you guys, just because I'm planning on doing the whole game in one sitting. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that intro screen, and without further ado, let's get to it. We'll use save slot A. And this is the famous Super Nintendo game.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
And for those who don't know this game at all, this is actually pretty much the only bit of storyline is at the beginning, so. God, you gotta love that Mode 7. Man, 1994 was an amazing time for video games. Just saying. So, if you guys didn't catch it, last night we had a pretty good stream with a couple of friends. We did some Left 4 Dead 2, but it was a drunk stream. 3 out of 4 of us were getting pretty drunk. The only person who actually stayed sober was the person who just actually started playing that game fairly recently. So it was a pretty interesting stream. But yeah, I'm not feeling amazing this morning, mostly because I slept like really wrong on my arm. Oh, get back down here. So what just happened there is there's two ways to actually beat the first Ridley sequence. You can either deal a massive amount of damage to him, or the other thing you can do is actually just get your health below 30, and then it'll automatically trigger the explosion or self-destruct sequence. And that's what we did. So you just basically keep jumping into his tail, and you take enough damage to get your health down below 30. And once your health is below 30, he'll pick up the Metroid and fly away, and then you can actually. Oh, I got to readjust here. There we go. Then you can actually just do your escape at that point. Man, coffee is amazing. Yeah, I remember being a kid and this game coming out and not being able to afford it. So I would rent it, and I would rent it probably every week or every other week for the most part. But I mean, I was a pretty young kid because I got into this game like I don't know, maybe a year or two after it came out, and I mean shit. I was born in '89, so I wasn't very old when this came out to begin with. So you know, pretty much my parents dictated what I had and didn't have at that point. So they didn't want to buy me the game, but they were okay renting it like legitimately like once a week or once every other week. So yeah, I actually played this a lot as a kid. But oh crap. The funny thing is I never actually beat this game until I was an adult. Actually, I think the first time I beat this game was earlier this year. Yeah, I think it was earlier this year the first time I actually beat this game. So I know really well the first half of the game because, I mean, you rent games and back in the Super Nintendo days it was a different animal than now. Your game saves were on the cartridge, shockingly enough. Which meant when you returned that game at the end of the week, you did not get to your saves didn't stay at home with you. So what I used to do is, and I know a lot of people are gonna throw shade on me for this, but what I used to actually do is I took a Sharpie and on the inside of the cartridge, next to where the pins are, but like on the okay, so the cartridges are made up of there's plastic and then the actual boards in there like that, and then another piece of plastic. So what I would do is I actually make a mark like right there on the inside of there when I would return it, so I knew which one it was, and I never put my game save on space A because everyone always deleted space A and used it for theirs. And what I would do is when I would go to rent the game again, I would make sure I looked at the inside of the cartridge and make sure I got the right one that had my game save on it. Which I know makes me a terrible person for doing that to someone else's game like that, but it is what it is. I got to keep playing through Metroid, but yeah, I never actually made it. I never made it past the wreck ship as a kid. Yeah, like I said, I know the first half of this game really well. Second half, not so much. Oh, I didn't think he shot that third one. That's why I shouldn't do crap like that. Alright, here we go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bad at platforming in this game. So it's actually surprisingly more reliable for me to do this than it is for me to walk the platforms. Because there's been more than one occasion where I'll actually walk the platforms and I'll miss a jump, and then trying to correct back onto another platform, I'll end up missing another one, and then another one, and the next thing I know I'm at the bottom, or very close to the bottom, all the way from the top. Alright, so right here we're gonna have the first boss of the game, which is the bomb chorizo. And I don't really know the whole story with the chorizos, because I know the chozo are the like bird people, if I'm not mistaken, that raised Samus and taught her everything and gave her like power suit and all that kind of stuff. But I think the chorizos are like some other creature that have to do with the chozos, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Drunk Alfred E2 stream last night went pretty okay, except for the fact that I was streaming to YouTube and thought I was streaming to Twitch. So I spent half the time looking at the wrong thing because I kept looking at Twitch chat trying to figure out why it was still showing me offline and why there was no one in chat. And then my lovely fiance brought it to my attention that hey, you're on YouTube. Oh, I think I shot that too low. Yeah, that's gonna hit the ground. This game did a really good job at making you feel isolated. God, this music. And this is one of the few games there is where you could actually break sequences. Like right here, you're not supposed to be able to get to that until you get a couple different power-ups. There's one that lets you jump super high, and then there's one that's like grappling beam to grab those little blocks up there on the top. So what's supposed to happen is you fall into here, you can't get out. But there's some fake blocks right here, right there, and then you fall down and you're stuck in there with them because you can't get back out this way. But if you know how to wall jump, you can just boop, boop, right out. Now, I do watch a lot of speedruns of this game, and there's some tricks that I am going to be using from the speedrunning community while I play this game, just because I use those tricks when I play casually. Things you won't be seeing me do, because this is just a casual playthrough. This is not a speedrun by any sense of the imagination. I don't know how to speedrun this game. There's way too much to remember. Crap. One of the things that I'm actually really bad at is the mothball. Now, you don't know what that is. When you're in the morph ball, which is that, when you're in that, you can only roll so fast, but Samus's running speed is a lot faster. So there's a trick where, if you do it on the right frame, and actually go into a morph ball while running, Samus will maintain her running speed as a ball. And it lets you skip the boss that we have coming up right now. Because The way this game works is there are no like special item location kind of things for like upgrades. So like when you pick up your first missile tank, the game actually doesn't treat it any different than any other missile tank. So theoretically, if you were to be able to, this is a really boring boss. This is force spawn. You're going to see me in this corner most of the time. Theoretically, if you were to be able to get to a different missile pickup location without going to that first one, you could pick it up and you would have the missile just like you would otherwise. So there's a trick to skip this guy, where you mock ball through a door and you escape these little shutters that go down, and you're supposed to have the speed booster to get past. But if you do that, there's a super missile at the end of it, and you pick up the super missile, and then you have no need to ever come to this guy. And since he's not one of the 4 bosses you absolutely have to kill to progress the game, doesn't matter. You can skip him, but I'm not good, so. Well, let's just get a shout out for this music in this game. It is just. Oops. We're looking on time. We're almost at 20 minutes already. Jeez. I think we can get this done in like 3 or 4 episodes. Probably something like that. I know I've been rambling on. Oh crap. Okay, come on, we need some spores to spawn. Get it, because the name's Spore Spawn. Now, like I said, I'm not really good at this game at all. And boop. Yeah, so like right here, you see how this is like a little egg, and when you shoot it open, there's a super missile inside. Well, that super missile, it's no different than any of the like super missile upgrades that'll give you more super missiles. If that makes sense. The game treats them all the same. Which is nice, because that means we could, you know, just do things out of sequence. As long as we can physically get to locations, it doesn't matter. There's very few, scripted, I guess you would say, events, like where it actually checks to see if something was done before letting you do the other thing. I always thought those little like bird things that like yellow and green thing I just killed, I always thought those looked like corn. That's another missile that you're not supposed to get until you have the high jump boots. You know, like I said, we're doing things a little bit out of order. I am going to go to Kraid as like the first boss of, like, first actual boss of the big four that we fight. you might see a jump cut when we get to that piece because I am not good at doing the wall jump you need to do to be able to do it soon, or do it early, I should say. Oh, and just to let you guys know, the reason I'm switching weapons for doors and stuff like that, it's probably obvious. Shit. Probably obvious to most of you, but pink doors you have to break with five regular missiles. Green doors is 1 super missile. Yellow doors take a power bomb, and I think that's it. I think that's all the doors. Gray doors can't be opened. Gray doors are that means there's a condition. They're conditional openers. Like a little thing out of order here. We're not supposed to get this yet. Yeah, grayish brown doors. Those are conditional openers. Whether it's like power's off or is locked because there's a fight. There's some rooms in this game where it'll lock you in a room until you kill all the enemies, kind of things. So, like I said, they're conditional openers. Yeah, see now we shoot 3 because we got that weapon upgrade. Let's see if we can get to Kraid in 1 or 2 tries. Nope. Hey, second try, that ain't too bad. I will take that. So right there, again, another thing you're supposed to have is like high jump boots to do. But we don't have time for that. Oh, there we go. There's a conditional door. See, nothing will actually open that. But as you'll see after we go through the boss fight, it'll be not gray, it'll be blue, I think. Indicating that we can now pass through it. And we're going to save here because yeah, this is we're coming up to the first like actual boss. Okay, so I guess I'll explain it while I'm on the way here. In Super Metroid, you have a few mini bosses and a few like harder fights. Okay, we'll just take that damage. Kill baby Kraid. You have a few, like quite a few like mini bosses kind of things. Okay, we're gonna refill quick. But you actually have only 4 bosses that you have to beat to progress the story, and then the 2 final bosses. Oh wait, no. Yeah, 4 bosses, and then the final boss. Jesus. Oh my. I think I went for losing today. Alright, we're gonna go back to this thing and farm some health real quick. Just to make sure we're topped up. Oh crap. Plus, this will help us get some super missiles. But anyway, yeah, the 4 bosses you have to beat, you have Kraid, Ridley, Phantoon, Kraid, Ridley, Phantoon, and I always forget the other one. Kraid, Ridley, Phantoon, and Dragon. This is the first one of those 4, or it should actually be like the second or third, but never mind that. This is Kraid. He's a pretty easy boss. He has a couple of attacks. He throws these like little finger things out and shoots these platforms out of his stomach. He was also in the original Metroid. Ooh, my damage boosted. I have never actually done that. That was neat. No, no. This is getting bad. I'm getting kind of nervous here. There it is. So yeah, that's great. The reason as you saw I kept having difficulty getting back up, I kept having to wall jump to like get up to that platform. Yeah, up that platform is because you're, like I say, you're supposed to have the high jump at that point, or at this point, but by doing it out of order the way we did, you get to skip going, because the way you're supposed to do it, you're supposed to go to, let me think. You're supposed to go to Norfair, get the high jump boots, come back to up here, I forget what this area is called, come back to up here, kill Kraid, get the various suit, go back to Norfair. This way we kill Kraid, get the high jump boot, or get the I can't even think now. Various suit, and then now we can go to Norfair because we also have to make a stop off in I think it's Criteria to get power bombs. So basically, by doing this, it saves us one trip to and from Norfair. Which I am okay with saving trips. Oh, wait, crap, we're actually out of time. We're gonna go ahead and stop there. Thank you guys for watching the first episode of Let's Play Super Metroid. It's a fun game. I hope I'm not going too quick for people that actually want to see like the game. The reason I'm just like kind of blasting through it like this is because, unlike the Resident Evil games, there's no storyline in this game once it starts till when it finishes. I mean, the last 5 minutes there's some implied story. The beginning you have, excuse me. The beginning you have that like cutscene, I guess you would call it. Oh yeah, my chair makes a ton of noise, by the way. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm just kind of trying to go through it kind of quicker, mostly because I know the beginning, I can get through it quick. This is one of those games where the first time you play through it, you spend half the game just doing circles and circles and circles around the map trying to figure out where to go because a lot of walls are breakable. Um, a lot of walls don't show that they're breakable. It'll just look like a normal wall, and unless you know something's there, you're not going to find it, kind of thing. So this is one of those games where you can spend half an hour running in circles trying to figure something out, and then it turns out, oh, you just had to shoot this wall. But I know it fairly okay, so I don't think we're gonna have that problem. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. Leave a comment below. Make sure you click that subscribe button down there. I guess it would be. Um, and also make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We try to stay fairly active on social media. I'm trying to make a schedule for recording and for streaming. But anyway, until next time, guys, you have a great one.